Hello there. Some new laws are taking effect on July 1st here in Tennessee, which is the start of the state's fiscal and governmental calendar. And I thought a few were interesting, so sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of Mercury Legal Sidebar. Thanks. The minimum blood alcohol concentration level has actually been dropped from 0.20 to 0.15. This is probably a good thing because 1 in 3 fatal crashes in Tennessee involve some type of substance, alcohol or drugs. Always good to not be impaired. Also related to alcohol, the Good Samaritan immunity protection, which currently provides an immunity for certain drug-related offenses, has now been extended to alcohol. So now someone can call emergency services in the event that someone needs help and not have to worry about a public intoxication charge or, more importantly, an underage drinking charge. This is a good thing. Also related to that somewhat is it is now a criminal offense to represent yourself as a rideshare driver when you're not. Kind of surprising that this wasn't already the case, but now someone, say on Broadway, had a little bit too much to drink, can have a little bit more confidence, a little bit, knowing that someone's saying that they're a rideshare driver and they're not. That's a crime too. I'd be probably more worried about the crimes that come after that, but still, it's a good first step. We need to protect people, vulnerable people. And in this area, Nashville, hospitality and tourism is so big that this is a big concern. Any food that is lab grown or cell cultured can now not be advertised as meat or meat food products. It can be advertised as what species it is and where it was made, but any fine will be enforced if it's advertised or presented in a way that it is meat. And you also have to have a permit, which is a $1,000 annual fee. But it's supposed to limit confusion on consumers to know the difference between lab-grown meats and actual meat. Interesting. We're now protecting kids a little more from hemp-related products. A minimum sentence of 48 consecutive hours in a county jail or workhouse and a fine of no less than $500 has been established for anyone that sells or distributes hemp-derived cannabinoid products, including THC gummies, to anyone under the age of 21. I think we can all agree that controlling what children consume is in our best interest. So it's a pretty good thing. We're also the first state in the South to protect access to IVF and birth control. Pretty surprising. Well, I mean, honestly, it's pretty surprising on multiple fronts, really. But hey, that's a good thing. Commercial squatting now has a immediate removal of squatters by the commercial landlord if certain conditions are met. The property has to be commercial, the person can't be authorized, it can't be open to the public, the person has been directed to leave, they're not a current or former tenant, and there's no ongoing litigation. Basically, it streamlines the process to where if it's a commercial property and someone is squatting, they don't have to go through a lengthy eviction process. So, there you go. Another one is that consumers are now better protected from unfair billing practices by service providers for phone, cable, or internet. The newly law prohibits these service providers from charging excessive fees when a customer cancels in the first half of the billing cycle. However, if they cancel in the second half of the billing cycle, they can be charged for the remaining amount as well as an additional month. So just keep that in mind. This is kind of in the same vein of the FTC's click to cancel rule, which goes into effect July 14th, not July 1st, July 14th. And this is federal government, not state government. But it's in the same vein in that for subscription services, customers should be able to cancel as easily as they were able to sign up and in the same medium. So if you were able to sign up for a service over the internet, you should be able to cancel over the internet without having to call someone or reach out to someone. Two very good things. Consumer protection is a necessity, and these are both very helpful. I kind of wish the excessive charges were not just for service providers. Honestly, I think really, if you think about it, the logic, the spirit of it, it should almost be for any subscription service. And this is coming from someone who offers legal subscription services as low as $250 a month, unlimited legal advice. I make it extremely easy for a subscriber to cancel. It's good practice, good form, but sadly there's a lot of businesses out there that don't see the benefit of treating their customers right, even when they're leaving them. So anyway, tooth and nail, we'll get there.
Charlotte Pike.
How's it going? Pretty good. Hot. Aren't we all? It is now much easier to sue someone and recover financial damages from a person who posts pictures of an intimate digital depiction without consent, also known as deepfakes. Thank you. Three new human smuggling offenses have been created. One is trafficking or smuggling an undocumented individual for financial gain, smuggling someone under the age of 13, and then the more controversial one is harboring an undocumented immigrant, has a $1,000 fine. Human trafficking and human smuggling is serious, and there's vulnerable people that are taken advantage of by that system, and so obviously we have to protect them. But that's the spirit of the law, is to protect, and we always want to make sure that we're not going a little too far. But hey, it's 2025. Maybe that's what we're trying to do today, this year. Far, far, far away. Yeah. Mass violence. The threat of mass violence or doxing has now been elevated. That if you knowingly threaten mass violence by any form of communication, that's now a Class C felony. It has to be a legitimate threat that could lead to death or serious bodily injury, but that's a pretty low barrier. And so doxing, which is a very popular thing, posting someone's name and address online for the hope of mass violence or serious bodily harm, not a good thing. Don't do it. Swatting, it's kind of similar to swatting, that's very popular in the online streaming community. The Peace Act, this is a good one. We all enjoy the pursuit of happiness and peace, right? Well, the Civil Rights Intimidation Law has now been amended to include those who litter or trespass upon real or personal property of another with the intent to unlawfully deprive someone of the free exercise or enjoyment of a right that is established by the Constitution of Tennessee or the United States government, as well as the laws of the state of Tennessee or the United States. Great, awesome, do it, protect, do it. And finally, there are now 3 commemorative months. June will henceforth be known as the Celebration of Life Month. July, the Celebration of Liberty. And August, the Pursuit of Happiness. These are intended to inspire civic pride and reflection on the values that shaped our country and continue to guide our state and nation. Okay, Pursuit of Happiness, Liberty, Life. Okay, let's follow it. I like it. Well, that's just a few. And while ignorance is bliss, it's no excuse. Have a nice day. I appreciate your time. Follow the law, the spirit of the law. Be good. Have a good 4th. Thanks. Bye.